Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and there's 2 different levels that you can, subscribe to, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows. So if you are far away and you couldn't make our last live show, it will be on the website. We're going to record this future live show. It's going to be on Patreon, but also bonus episodes each month. You guys tell us all the time you want more episodes. This is a way for you to get more episodes. So you're going to get our basic Tuesday, Thursdays that we always put out, right? But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
I can't wait to talk about in detail some more stories because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
They just unsubscribed. This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. So if that is breaking some of your hearts, just go ahead and subscribe now. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/BloodyHappyHour.
Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
Bloody Happy Hour here.
Here we are. We're doing our full story today. We're going to Nevada, which is very close to Utah. And the place that we're going is right on the border of Utah.
Let's do it.
And also, this episode was featured on Snapped.
Okay. So we got a crazy woman.
Maybe, maybe not. Killer couples.
Killer couples.
Killer couples.
Okay.
Yes, that's the one. So, Micaela Costanzo, 16.
Can you say that throughout the whole podcast?
You know how I learned how to do it? How to say it right?
How?
Because George Costanza.
Who's that?
From
Another
Seinfeld.
name. Oh.
So, Costanzo, and I can remember Costanza, so I remembered Costanzo.
Okay.
It's all about clues and words and clues. Okay, got it. Relating things, all the things. So, friends and family called her Mickey, but she's the youngest of 3 siblings, and she lived with her mom and her middle sister in West Wendover, Nevada.
Okay.
She has an older sister, but older sister is out of the house, but still lives pretty close. So Micaela went to this West Wendover High School. She played basketball. She ran track. She was popular. There's no official word if she was bubbly, but one can only assume.
Yeah.
She was the bubbly one. She was very close to her mom and her sisters. They would text daily back and forth. So normally the older sister, the one who was out of the house, but close by, was the one who would pick her up from school.
How old is she again?
16.
16.
And on this day, March 3rd, 2011,
Okay.
sister was out of town, so Micaela planned to walk home from school, which she didn't live far, so it wasn't a big deal. Micaela's mom didn't hear from her, so she kind of started to worry. She didn't get any texts. She didn't get any phone calls, so she was like, well, did she make it home from school? She calls Micaela's phone, no answer. She texts her, no answer. The middle child, the one that was older than Micaela, but not the oldest, who was still living at the house, was at home. So mom goes home and was like, hey, sometimes sometimes she might know things that mom doesn't know, or like, oh, did she tell you she's going to be somewhere and she's coming late, whatever.
Yeah.
But sister didn't know anything. Sister had not heard anything. She didn't know either way. So mom calls some of Micaela's friends and oldest sister, who was the one to originally always pick her up. Nobody's heard from her. It starts to get dark. And she calls the police and files a missing persons report. They were all over it. They were immediately
Quick.
in searching. They had volunteers come out, all the things. So she was last seen around 5:00, leaving the back of her school. Okay. She was like on video camera.
Okay.
Detectives looked at her phone records, and at the time of her disappearance, one number came up several times. Like there was phone calls back and forth and messages back and forth. And this number belonged to a student named Cody Patton.
Oh, man.
So they questioned him, and he was like, oh, the last time I saw Micaela, she was with her boyfriend in the front of the school. Okay, we already have...
Video of her in the back.
Yes.
Okay.
But Cody says she was in the front the last time he saw her. So they talked to boyfriend. Boyfriend was like, Micaela was fine that day. Nothing seemed to be off. Like everything was normal. She went to track practice. And then her and I were talking at the back of the school, not at the front. So Cody, okay. So they're like, all right, well, let's just, okay. We'll take in all the evidence that we can. Okay. So search parties are continuing to do their thing. They're scouring the area. And there's it's Nevada. There's desert. It's just a bunch of desert. So they're searching everywhere. After 2 days, one of the searchers saw some strange tire marks in the area known as the gravel pit.
Oh, no. Nothing good happens.
Nothing ever good is happening at a gravel pit.
Oh, no.
Tire tracks led to the place where the ground had loose soil. And then among the soil, there was a suspicious mound that had been covered by sagebrush. And police started to, I think even like the tire tracks, there was like a little bit of blood along these tire tracks. And police started to dig up where this brush was, and that's where they find Micaela's body in a shallow grave. She had been fatally beaten and stabbed. Her throat had been slashed. Around her arm was a zip tie. And to them, that indicated that she had been taken against her will.
Yes.
And detectives determined that the motive for the killing was personal. But now, what is going in your brain? Like, what is the thought?
Well, I was going to go to one of the coaches first. And then when you said the kid, it seems to me like they were trying to make the police focus on the front of the building so that they don't look at the cameras at the back of the building. So maybe it's a kid.
Okay. So earlier I mentioned phone records. That's why they went and talked to this kid, Cody, because he was the last kind of one to be on her, records and text messages and stuff. So he became kind of the top person of interest, just because boyfriend seemed to be totally everything he said was matching up everything. Then they have additional school surveillance video, which showed Micaela and Cody. Cody is we know who
Phone
Cody
number
is.
boy.
Phone number boy. And they were in the hallway, walking. She was walking and he was kind of just closely following behind. as she's going out of the building. And then you don't see her and you don't see any, I guess they didn't have footage of outside the building. This was all inside the building.
Okay.
So then they ask him about it, and they have like this initial questioning, and they asked additional students, and the students once again were like, they were at the back of the building. He still says they're at the front, and this whole thing. This was a big deal. So who is Cody Patton? He's 18 years old, senior. He had been friends with Micaela since childhood. They lived in the same apartment complex growing up. They stayed friends for a little bit, but as they got older and socially, they just kind of were acquaintances, normal stuff. And now Cody is dating this girl named Tony.
Okay.
Tony Fratto. Fratto.
No. What's Cody's last name again?
Patton.
Okay. Patton Fratto.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Step into the unexpected with Cultastic, or How to Start a Cult Without Really Trying. A podcast where cult creation unfolds in the most unpredictable way. Join us on a unique journey into the world of theoretical cult formation. Unlike any other podcast, each episode of Cultastic is co-written in part using ChatGPT, and we let it decide our fate, good or bad. What makes Cultastic truly intriguing? We don't know what's coming each week. Together with our AI co-author, we'll discover and build this cult, one episode at a time, exploring various aspects of cult dynamics, leadership, and group psychology. Delve into themes of charisma, influence, and the power of group thinking. It's a blend of expert analysis, theoretical exploration, and the unforeseen twists of AI-generated ideas. Remember, Cultastic is an exercise in imagination and education where we weave a narrative one episode and one tenant at a time. Curious about where this journey will take us? Subscribe to Cultastic or How to Start a Cult without really trying on your favorite podcast platform or at roguemedianetwork.com. Let's build this mission to save the people of Earth, week by unpredictable week.
Hey everybody, I'm Tony, and some call me Big T.
And I'm Carrie, and we have some exciting news. We have a podcast.
Absolutely, it's called My Husband is a Hunka Burning Love.
No.
And we'll be discussing some different sex positions overweight couples can easily perform, correct?
I don't think so. It's called I Married an Idiot.
I know, I'm just kidding.
We'll try to stay on task, focus. Did you take your Adderall today?
Really? You're going to ask me that? Are you insinuating something?
Never mind. You may be wondering why we're doing this. We have been together for 36 years.
36 short, long
years.
Freaking years. But we must be doing something right?
Well, we must be. But this is where the fun starts.
And you know me, I love having fun. Fun is the best thing to have.
Yes, it is. On our show, we're going to be discussing a wide variety of topics. And I'll give you my opinion, and you'll give your opinion. So please, do not embarrass me.
I'm not going to embarrass you. I told you 1,000 times, but you also need to learn to get some thicker skin if you're going to be doing this.
No.
And don't take everything so damn personal.
I know, but you get personal.
Anyway, it's up to you, not you, Carrie, but the podcastee listeners,
the
audience, to decide which one of us is the idiot.
It's going to be pretty obvious, trust me.
Absolutely, totally obvious. Was that a shot?
Of course not.
Okay, good. Just checking. So, you know, everybody has an opinion. It's like my daddy always said.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Well, it's true. An opinion is like an ass. Everyone has one, and some are bigger than others, or it went something like that.
Stop. Would you be nice? See what I mean? Tell them where we can be found.
Anywhere you get your podcast or roguemedianetwork.com. Just look up I Married an Idiot. Sit back, relax, and give us a try. I promise you it will be entertaining. And if you want to contact us, you can shoot us an email Well, I don't seem to have the email at the moment. This is not good. I don't seem to have that at the moment, but we'll let you know. So stay tuned, and I promise you we'll let you know. Sorry.
Really?
Well,
But yes, eventually we'd love to hear your feedback. You can give us suggestions on what topic to cover, comment on our show or an episode, or just drop us a line to say hello.
just remember any negative feedback should be directed toward Carrie, and all positive feedback should go to me.
Wrong again.
Hey, babe, look, we got to go. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, just remember to tune in. It's going to be fun. And thanks for giving us a try.
Absolutely. Until next time, peace out. God dang.
I thought it went pretty good.
That went well, not.
I thought it went okay.
Why didn't you tell me the email? Do you even have an email?
You said you were getting the email.
I did not. When did I say that?
You're such an idiot.
Oh, the hell with it.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those two also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
So, Tony is 19 years old, senior, also in high school. She literally looks like she's like 13 or 14, innocent look. I mean, I watched the interrogation video, like stuff, and I thought for sure she was innocent because she just looks.
Don't tell us the story.
Well, I just was saying. I mean, that was my initial thought. I'm like, this girl is getting framed.
She didn't do anything.
Cody is like framing her. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I just was like, I didn't think there was anything to her. And then they told me she's a devout Mormon.
Then the red flag.
So we find out Tony is like dedicated to Cody because like she's so insecure in herself because she's really not that cute, which is fine. You can always be a nice person. He's like 6'8". This Cody,
Okay.
you know, he's 6'8". He's kind of rebel. Like, he's been like kicked out of his parents' house. He just is like kind of just he's just a wild child. Okay. But Tony was like, I'm dedicated to you. Like, you love me and I love you. And this is probably the only attention I've ever had from a man. And you're 6'8". So I understand that. But she really wanted to help him reach his goal. And that was to go to the Marines.
Okay.
I don't know about that goal, but they dated for a while. And like any high school seniors, they decided to get engaged.
Oh. Who doesn't get engaged to their high school?
I don't know what they're still in high school. They're not graduated, but they've got to get engaged. I mean, it's normal. So Cody was so invested in this relationship, he even converted to Mormonism so they could get married in the temple.
Wow.
But
were they having sex or were they doing
they were probably doing armpit sex.
They were bagpiping.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, where's like Cody's parents and like what do the like Tony's parents think about this? Like, what's happening? Let me tell you.
Okay.
Tony, Fredo, girlfriend, parents were a little conflicted about the situation. They like, we don't really know if we want Cody to be like staying here because did I tell you he was going to move in?
No.
Oh, so he decides he's going to move in.
Oh.
But then the parents are like, I mean, is that really a good idea? Y'all are like, I mean, y'all are 8. Well, they are 18 and 19, but still, like you're living it. No, it's not good. The primary concern was for the parents was that they did not want her to run off with him. Like if they said, no, he can't move in here and she's just going to go and leave. They didn't want that. They said, we don't like that. So they're like, okay, we agree that he can be here because at least this way we can keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't fault them for that. Like,
okay. Well, yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe I should take that back. But anyway, once they were living there together, the relationship improves. Like everybody's like, he's part of the family. And he really is like, I like this.
And I bet he's never been a part of a family.
It sounds like he hasn't.
Okay.
It sounds like he hasn't. So, like I said earlier, Toni was very insecure. She was insecure about herself, but also about their relationship because she just constantly thought that Cody was going to leave her.
And he probably was.
And she was even more insecure about his relationship with Micaela. Toni was. Girlfriend Toni was. But like, out of the blue, like, yeah, they were friends when they were younger and they maybe like hung out more and like they've known each other for a while, but I don't know why you're really that concerned about it. Like they're not.
Probably because Micaela's everything, Toni is not.
Yeah, but it's not like that was his ex.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, but Cody is the one who caused all these issues because he would always tell Toni, oh, Micaela's been texting me. Micaela's been calling me. So then Toni's getting jealous and she is now hating Micaela because why you always messing with my boyfriend?
Yep.
Why are you doing this? So like Coney, it's going to be Coney and Toby by the end of it. So Cody is just like living it. Like he's loving the attention. He's like faking that Micaela's all into him. And Toni's just like getting real jealous and he is all about it.
He's setting this up.
Yes. And like also what would happen is he would create situations to where Toni would like react and then like they would like even bully her. They would bully Micaela at school and like Toni would walk by her and just like call her a slut. And they would like, hey, you want to come for a ride today with us? You want to come riding around? And she's like, no, leave me alone. She would like tell her sisters about it. And she's like, they keep like trying to get me to go somewhere and I'm not going to go anywhere. Like, I don't know why they're so obsessed with me, but they were, and they would constantly do this. So once, they kept, Toni just was thinking like Micaela was trying to ruin their relationship. Okay. So
and
that's
it wasn't even happening
at all. So Cody was he's like established of the primary person of interest just because maybe he's given conflicting stories to police, plus the surveillance cameras, plus the text message and the phone calls was the last person to talk to was Cody. So they have him come in for an interview at the station. And it didn't take long for Cody to break down.
And tell on Toni.
And tell on himself.
Oh.
But it just said his father, but then I said I heard or read that he had like, I don't know if he had stepdad, real dad, but whoever was considered his father came up to the station to talk to him because police knew they were getting somewhere with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, let's get daddy in here.
Yeah.
To try to whatever. So then that's when he starts crying and confessing and saying all these things to dad. So this is what Cody told the police. He said that he and Micaela had gone out for a drive to the gravel pit. They began arguing. He said she told him, break off your engagement with Toni.
Wait, say it again.
So they're out. This is Cody's version.
Okay.
He and Micaela are driving to the gravel pits just to go hang out.
Uh-huh.
And Micaela is like, you need to break up with Toni. Break off your engagement. And Cody's like, Micaela, no, I'm in love with her and I'm not breaking off my engagement. And she got pissed.
I think this is exactly how it went.
Oh, just wait. There's 14 versions. So he's like, I refuse. And then the argument turns physical. They get out of the car. Micaela starts hitting him in the chest and he shoves her back. Mind you, he's 6'8".
6'8".
She's probably 4'7" or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how tall people are. I'm always
5'5".
5'5". So he shoved her back. Well, then that's whenever he shoved her into the car. She hits her head on it and she's knocked out. And all of a sudden, she gets knocked out. He didn't know what to do. He
He just slit her throat?
He said she was going into convulsions and having a seizure, and he started freaking out. So he decided that he was going to hit her in the head with a shovel.
Oh, my gosh.
But she was still making sounds. Obviously, what do you do next? You slice their throat.
I mean,
which is what he did. And this isn't a shovel. Like, I'm picturing shovel like... Shovel.
Yeah.
This is like some funky shovel. It has like a serrated edge and it has like some pointy thing coming out of it. So it's like a shovel with the flat, it's like flat on the bottom and it has the serrated and that has the extra little pokey thing. I don't know what kind of shovel it is. If you know what I'm talking about out there, then you know. I just saw a picture of it on the show that I was watching about it. So
maybe they use it to break up the gravel.
Probably they do. So she was making the noises and that's when he decided to slash her throat so she would stop because she was just being too loud. Once he realized she was dead, he buried her in a shallow grave and then burned her clothes.
I mean,
Cody was arrested, charged with first-degree murder, and this was the possibility of a death sentence. So he hired this attorney, John Olson, who had a reputation of keeping the killers from getting sentenced to the death penalty, but just life.
So he has to have some type of money. If you're hiring this lawyer, it's the Johnny Cochran of...
It basically is. I don't, there's nothing about the family, so we're just going to pretend like he stole it. So, what about Tony? What's she have to say about all this? Because they just are like, okay, Cody's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the one. Well, she's devastated that Cody was arrested.
So she's going to start talking shit and she's going to look guilty herself.
She's devastated that Cody was arrested. She goes and visits him. She writes him. She calls him. She tells him she misses him every day. And she is going to stand by his side.
Oh.
She's dedicated. Who cares about Micaela that she was just beat with the shovel and slit her throat with the shovel and that she's buried in a shallow grave and burns her clothes? Who cares? It's fine. So in April of 2011, while Tony's parents are out of town, Tony goes with Cody's dad, her boyfriend's dad, to talk to this Olson guy, Johnny Cochran of the best attorney in Utah, Nevada, wherever we are. And this is when she's like, okay, I need to have a conversation with you. He tape records it, gets an entirely different story. But mind you, this is not her attorney. There is no attorney-client privilege.
Privilege, yep.
So Tony says, this is her version, that after school, she received a text from Cody with the words, "I've got her." That meant Micaela was in the SUV and that Cody had borrowed this SUV, and that was where she was supposed to be, in this SUV. And he said he put Micaela in the car. Yeah, he was on the way to pick Tony up. So the three of them are in the car going to the gravel pits. Tony gets in, sees Micaela in the back seat. Her hands are in her face. She's obviously like scared to death. I'm sure she's been dragged out of somewhere because she has these zip tied. And
damn.
Yeah. And so they get to the gravel pit. Micaela and Cody get out of the car. Micaela starts yelling at Cody, pushes him. Tony said that her eyes diverted, but she heard this loud thud. And when she got out of the SUV to see what happened, she sees Micaela laying on the ground. So this must have been when she was pushed into the car. She's on the ground, not moving. Cody begins to dig the grave. And by the time he's finished, Micaela was semi-conscious. Like she was semi there. So Tony said they kicked her, they punched her, they hit her with the shovel, and they did all this until she stopped moving.
How did she think this was helping Cody? She just was diarrhea at the mouth?
And she just talked about it like it was just another day. Just like, I mean, we just went there and
and Cody was actually letting her free.
Yeah. She volunteered all this shit. This is probably this is dumb criminals of the day is what it is. That's what it is. But so they kicked her and punched her, did all this stuff with the shovel. And then when she stopped moving, They placed her in the grave, and they took turns slitting her throat.
Oh, when couples kill.
Okay, so but this is her version. But that also, Tony admitted to sitting on Micaela's legs to hold her down during the attack.
Oh, gosh.
They're not good people. So since Cody, like I said earlier, was his client of the Olsen guy, there's no attorney-client privilege, so he done turned this tape straight over to the police to try to save his client from something. So she, by the way, had not even been a suspect at the time. Let me just inject myself into this case. So now she's booked, charged with second-degree murder, and held without bail. Okay? So let's talk about some plea deals. Both Cody and Tony are offered plea deals. Cody agreed at first, but then changed his mind. Tony, on the other hand, was like, plead guilty to second-degree murder, and I'll testify against
Cody,
my love of my life, who I'm going to stick by his side for forever and ever and all the days to come.
And Cody was still being loyal.
Allegedly, Cody was being loyal.
Wow, I guess he did like her.
The confession that Tony gave to the police now, a little different from the one that she gave to the old attorney days before.
Changes again.
So, what is her story? Now, this time she says Cody was mad at Micaela. And now she's trying to put more of it on him. So she is just an instigator. So, but then he was the instigator to cause the whole drama. It's a whole hot mess.
Yeah. He was mad at her for something, and maybe it's because he felt like Micaela maybe left him because they used to be good friends, and then he was maybe the nobody, and she kind of soared. So maybe he was mad about that.
Maybe.
Like, what is the purpose of making up these stories?
I don't know. He just was like, it's like he needed to they needed to go play like sports. Like, what are you doing? Like, keep yourself busy. Like, you don't need to make up a whole murder scene plot to fulfill yourself, but apparently you do. So she was like, Cody was mad at Micaela, and when Tony got into the SUV, saw Micaela in the back seat, all those things, they drive to the pit. On the way to the pit, now this is something that's new, that Cody sent Tony a text. I guess they're like sitting right next to each other and they need to text each other. I don't know. And says, we have to kill her.
Oh, wow.
Then they get to the gravel pits. Tony was ordered to stand guard.
Oh, she's the watchdog.
While Cody dug the grave. He told her, hey, you need to hit Micaela. And she's like, no, I'm not hitting her with the shovel. So Cody begins punching Micaela and then told Tony, you hit her with the shovel. So Tony hit her with the shovel. Hit her with the shovel in the shoulder. Wasn't good enough. Cody then grabbed it and hit her in the head.
Oh.
But while she's on the ground, same kind of thing. Tony held Micaela's legs. At some point, Micaela looked up at Cody and asked if she was still alive and if she could go home. And then Cody slit her throat with a knife.
Damn.
Okay, so now we have a knife. Because earlier it all came from the shovel.
So she said that they took turns slicing the throat with the shovel earlier?
At first, yes.
Oh, wow.
And then now she didn't slice the throat.
Now
only he did,
Cody.
and it was with the knife.
Okay.
Well, we get another version.
So whose version is this now?
Okay, so Cody is now, he's in this meeting with his attorney, and they're talking about this plea deal situation. Well, this is where Cody gives his other version of the story, and he says what happened that day is that Tony, actually, girlfriend, had confronted Micaela at the school, calling her a slut, and Cody suggested that Tony and Micaela, now they go fight it out.
Oh, at the gravel pit.
Or they go have meat, they talk it out, they fight it out. Tony says she wants to fight, Micaela says she wants to fight, and that was the agreement. And as far as Cody was concerned, this was what happened, and this is as far as he got with his new version of the story, and the attorney was like, we're going to stop there.
Yeah.
But then he says, we're going to not do the plea agreement.
Okay.
But then later, he ends up doing the plea agreement. So these people just cannot make up their mind. We're almost there.
I feel like he was trying to really be loyal to Tony, but I don't understand why.
I don't either. She just interjected and like ruined the whole thing. But once Bonnie and Clyde over here are locked away, Tony had time to consider her situation, like reconsider her situation. So she gave a little bit more info. And now she says, she also, this was on Dateline. So she's talking to Keith Morrison at this point.
Tony. As a guilty person.
Yes.
Okay.
While she's awaiting her, sentencing. She says that she had been abused and controlled by Cody.
Oh, my goodness.
During most of their relationship, and that he forced her to participate in murdering Micaela, and that she feared for her life. And that after she saw him beat Micaela, she had no choice but to go along with it.
Wow.
And that's what he wanted, and that's what she did. In April 2012, Tony, girlfriend, pled guilty to second-degree murder with a deadly weapon in the death of Micaela Costanzo. She was sentenced to life behind bars with the possibility of parole in 18 years. Okay. She was sent to the Florence McClure Women's Correctional Center in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
Why do they call these places correctional? Why don't they just say in the prison? I don't know. Anyway, I always have that thought. So Tony is sentenced to a minimum of 10 years for second-degree murder, but both she and Cody received an additional 8 to 10 years for the use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a crime.
Okay.
In April 2021, so this has been 10 years now had passed, and this is when she comes up for parole. Well, it says after 18 years, which is basically 10 years, it all math, all the math and this stuff never maths. Up for parole, she had a hearing in 2021. She was denied.
Good.
DA Tyler Ingram said that if Tony was granted parole for this murder hearing, she would still not be released from prison because then she would have to be serving her second sentence.
Oh, good.
Her next parole hearing is May 2024.
Oh, damn. In a minute.
Like 3 seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to keep an eye out for that. Now, in May 2012, go back to what's Cody's situation. He eventually agreed to plead guilty, I believe, in order to avoid the death sentence.
Okay.
So he pled guilty to her murder. He is, as part of the pre-sentencing report, he wrote a letter to the judge denying that he killed Micaela.
Oh my gosh.
So you're going to plead guilty, but you're going to deny. That's what they call an Alfred plea. I don't think they must not have that right here. That don't work. He laid the blame solely on Tony.
Oh.
So he was like, okay, bitch.
Too late now?
Saying that she slit Micaela's throat, but the judge didn't buy it and sentenced Cody to life in prison without the possibility of parole, telling him, quote, "Your blood runs cold, Mr. Patton. There shall be no possibility of parole." And Cody Patton is incarcerated at the Ely State Prison in White Pine County, Nevada. So we're at the conclusion, and we have 14 different versions of the story.
Yeah.
So will we ever know the truth? Probably not. But it seems that, like, to family and friends, that they had both been bullying Micaela for several years and just
both decided
pushing her into the locker kind of a thing.
That's
like
horrible.
Humping up against her. And one of Micaela's closest friends had said that multiple times Micaela had told the friends that the couple, Cody and Tony, had continued to try to get her alone with them over and over, tried to get them to go for a ride. And then eventually, I guess they just gave up, decided to zip tie her and kidnap her and take her to this gravel pit and she had no chance. And there was never really any explanation about the zip ties or like the kidnapping of her. I don't know how she would
they
have
did it.
voluntarily gotten in the car whenever over and over and over she refused to get in the car with them. And that is the story of the murder of Micaela Costanzo. I know.
I don't know who's the real mastermind. It's like they both are pretty evil, but he was sneaky about it by making Tony mad and hate her.
Yeah.
So he did hate her for whatever reason.
You're engaged. Why do you care about Micaela? You are Mormon now. You're going to get married in the temple. And you're going to go to old peasant Micaela? No, you are above that. You are now a Mormon.
I think he even knew that Tony was that weak enough that would fall for something like that.
Shovel with a stake. I got to figure out what this shovel's called. So yeah, that is...
Again, I'm always surprised at when there's one murderer, right? But when there's like a team, like you have two sick people that just happen to be the same place, the same time, friends, to plan out something like this, and nobody chickens out.
No.
You go all the way through with it.
And what do you think? It took 2 days for them to find her. And did you just think you were going to get away?
It's like they didn't even
hear them
in
their interviews. I mean, just like crying and crying. And oh my God, once she started having a seizure, I didn't know what to do. So I just kept beating the shit out of her. Really?
Oh my goodness.
I don't ever think that's a good idea. And I mean, would you rather get in trouble for
kidnapping
and beating, or live your life for murder?
Oh gosh. And it's like they had been wanting to do it for so long, but they didn't have no plan.
No plan.
Or no post plan.
They really did not have a plan. So these are
no post
dumb criminals
plan.
Of the day and
they're ridiculous.
Of the year. And
I got to see what they look like. Was he good looking at all?
I mean, he was like a normal average. Yeah, he was, I would say, good looking. Not now, but.
Tony, but you almost got away with it.
She maybe just needed the spotlight. I don't know.
I think she did. I think she hated her that bad that she wanted to be associated with Micaela's hurt. Well, good story, good story. Have we ever done a killer couple? I don't think we have. Couples that kill. No.
I don't know. I don't think maybe we haven't.
I don't think we have. Boyfriend, girlfriend team. Nope. Husband, wife team. Nope. Nope.
Eventually we got to do Ken and Barbie.
Ken and Barbie.
So there you go.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. That is it, y'all. That was a quick one for you. And we will see y'all next week for all new episodes. Go on and give us a rating or reviewing, RRS, rate, review, and subscribe. Get on our Patreon if you want a couple bonus episodes that come out. And that is it. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
This has been a Rogue Media Network